Hi, I'm Jenny Sherbo. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to get out a couple 2-year-olds and ride them around and show you where they're at. I haven't warmed them up at all because some of their spots are right at the beginning. And these 2-year-olds have only been rode a handful of times, and we're just going to go over different parts of the horse and what our goals are, what we're looking for, and work through these 2-year-olds and talk about them. This filly is very sweet. She has a tendency to be really stiff. When we ask her to flex her nose from side to side, she wants to be pretty bothered about it and be really stiff. And she has a really hard time being soft in her body when it goes from her nose to her throat latch and her shoulder and her rib cage. We like her nose to connect through her body to her tail and make sure that her feet are connected as well. So when I pull here on her nose, and when I do pull, I pull right here to my hip bone. When I pull her nose, I want her entire body to soften, not just her actual nose, but her whole body has to soften around that pull. We call this coming to the pull. So if I go down and pull on this side, I reach down and I pull straight to my hip. And I would like her to bring her nose but concave her whole body around that pull. And then her feet should be able to follow her body. So I reach down, I pull straight to my hip, loosen my outside rein so that she can come to that pull, and then bounce my feet to make her feet go forward and get her body to soften around that pull. Her brain is kind of going out there. You see her ears and her looking to the outside. She's actually getting pretty soft to the pull, but I haven't got her brain to stay there and think. Take this hand, pull to the side. Notice I'm pulling to the same spot every time. And my other hand goes forward and presses the rein on her neck right here so that she gets used to that neck pressure. Switch hands. Forward motion, one hand straight to the hip, outside rein goes to the outside of the horse, and I'm looking for that total body softness. So now that we have it just going around right here, I'll go ahead and ask her to jog, and we'll move out a little bit. So again, just go down, pull to your hip, keep her feet moving. And see as she roots her nose out there and wants to resist that pull. So I bounce my feet on her and I wait for her to soften. Bounce my feet and wait for her to soften. And as soon as she gets a little soft, right there, she got soft. She's still chomping at the mouth. Then her feet want to stop. But as soon as she starts to soften, I'm going to go ahead and release her. There, her mouth stopped a little bit. I may even pull on this outside rein every once in a while, just give it some little touches to try to help loosen her up. Very important to keep her moving. There, right there. She brought her back up underneath me. I felt her back come up. Her face softened. Forward motion there. Okay, so we're going to give back to her and then take it away again. Straight to my hip. She wants to be a little cranky and resistant, and that's part of why we have to do this exercise. There. So I use my outside rein right there to help me bump, bump, bump. Again, remember, this filly's only had a couple of rides on her. If this was a horse that already was trained, already knew this, we might take a different approach. But this filly has not been rode very much. This is an introduction to what we want. And as long as we can get her to try a little bit, we don't want to scare her. We just want to help her. There, so that was better. That was good that she wanted to find the walk after I released. As soon as I released her and relaxed a little bit, she shut down. That's a really good sign. But it's important to keep her feet going, so I'm going to go ahead and kick her up. But don't punish them too bad when they only have a couple rides on them. When you quit riding, if they want to shut their feet down, encourage them to keep their feet going, but don't punish them for that, because that's something that that will be a huge plus in her stops when we go to stop her later. So now I'll bring her nose to the inside. She's a little resistant, but she's getting better. There. So she's really starting to relax. There, that time I didn't have very much fight at all. I feel like she's moving off of my inside leg. So now I'm going to go the other way. Drive her forward. Pull the other rein. There. That was pretty good. Look up to my circle. I can use this outside rein to help. Thinking about my hand coming to my hip. Right here. If she wants to dive in, I bounce that inside rein, or excuse me, inside leg, and pull that outside rein if I have to. But then after I feel like she gives in and lifts, then I drop that outside rein. It's just a helper rein. But my legs should be doing most of the work for her. There. It's better. There. You're right there where she lifts up and gets soft. That's great. She's starting to relax into this a little bit. Relaxing into this circle. Reach down. Pull that rein. A little resistance there. There. Okay, I'll relax her again. Ask her to go straight across. Reach down and go the other way. Look up to my circle. Use inside leg right there, an awful lot. Easy. Easy, little resistant, little cranky. As I'm riding this horse, I see it that I have a conversation with her. Her reaction is her telling me what she's feeling and what's going on. And so I'm having a conversation with her. It's like when she gets cranky, I say to myself, okay, I feel you getting cranky. Don't worry, honey, and maybe I relax and let off a little bit right there. And then maybe in the next ride, then I ask her for a little bit more, because I'm trying to build her confidence. I'm definitely the boss, but I'm reading all the signs, like right there, she was real soft to that, tried real hard. I'm having to help her, and she's got some issues, but that's a baby for you. But the main thing is that I see that her mouth chomps a little bit. I know that she has a tendency to be cranky a little bit, and all of those are signs. Some horses swish their tail real hard to be watching to see if you're making headway or getting yourself in trouble. If you ignore all the signs and say you're going to get soft no matter what, and ignore all of the chomping or the crankiness or the ringtailing, that's how you get yourself in trouble. And that's when they won't relax into this and they actually get tougher and or get mad and start doing bad things like kicking out or running off or not wanting to turn left and right. See, right now she's real soft. I could actually ask her for a little bit more. She's kind of a cranky mare anyways, but I feel like she's relaxed, soft, coming to that pull each way. So now I'm going to go ahead and lope. Now again, she only has a couple rides on her. I definitely wouldn't say that she knows her leads, but I try to set it up to help her. So I push her body to the outside, go to my circle. That's okay. That's all right. I used my spur a little bit on her, and she wanted to reject that pressure. No big deal. Just set it up again. If she continues to do that, then we'll punish her for it a little bit. But right now, you know, she's a baby. So what? She kicked out at me. There. That time she took that pressure. It just the first time it scared her. If I were to make a big deal out of that, then she would make a big deal out of that. Now, if an aged horse did that and they knew what they were doing, they would be in trouble. But she's a baby. She's just like my 2-year-old son who can throw a fit over something he shouldn't throw a fit over. Just don't make a big deal out of it. She actually feels real soft. She's carrying a lot of frame. When I pick up on these reins and seesaw a little bit, she gives to me. She's soft in her body. If I go to pull her around, again, my hand comes right to my hip right here. Outside rein comes around to follow her. She comes right around. I go back to my circle. And because she feels so good, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up on her and let her lope out a little bit. I'm driving this car or this train or this horse. If I'm driving, it's up to me to know where I'm going and to help her, because remember, she's a baby and we're a team, and it's my job to help her stay on our track. And I do that by keeping her between these reins, inside rein and outside rein, and following through with my legs, keeping her between my legs. And I just say, come over here, baby, stay on the track. I'm looking to the track, which puts my body on the track, and then I want her outside leg, inside rein, say, come back to the track. There, and then she relaxes, release of pressure, over to the track. Relax, release of pressure. I look, over to the track. So of course she's leaning more on this side right here, and that's because she's polarized to the gate. The gate to the arena and her barn is right there. So I know she's going to be polarized right here, so maybe I'll pick her up and turn her across a little straighter right there. Come over here, pick her up, go across here. Again, I'm worried about her coming to that pull. Just like that right there was great. Come to you, pick her up, soften that pull, looking up where I'm going, riding with my legs. Always back to my track. I'm not wandering around the arena. There, this time she stayed on her track. She didn't lean to that gate. Now she's leaning out here. Pick her up, go across, right back to my track. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask her to stop over here. When I do, I'm going to take a deep breath, kind of let her go straight for a stride. Oh. Quit riding, say whoa, just sink down within myself, let her breath out, and then just help her to the ground. She's already looking for that shut off, just like when we were trotting. And as soon as we go to pet her, she'd shut down. So all we have to do is kind of quit riding, and she's already going to want to shut down, but then we do need to lift the front end up a little bit, otherwise she'll have a tendency just to nosedive. So now we're going to go the other way. Right there I used my leg a little bit and it scared her. But it's important when I picked her up to go that way. If the reins didn't feel like enough, I don't pull harder, I go to my leg. And I kick her a little more and I say, hey, this means get that way, but this is just the direction. My leg is the gas pedal. So if I give her direction and she doesn't go, then hit the gas. Okay? So I'm going to give her direction and hit the gas. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the trot. I cluck. If she goes, that's great. If I cluck and she doesn't go, then I kick her with both feet, which is the gas pedal, and ask her to move. Thinking about my inside rein, coming to my hip, my outside rein, follow up, and my legs to bring her body. My hands just bring her nose. Right there, she fought that pull a little bit. It's okay, come over here, pull over here. Right there, I really had to use that gas pedal. Come to my hip, look up where I'm going, there. This is going to be a tough spot for her, and she handled it pretty well. Okay, so now let's put her back out on the track. She's starting to get tired, and she tends to be cranky. So the next thing that'll happen is she's going to start getting mad. So I'm going to be looking for a place to quit for today. I only rode her for maybe 20 minutes. I got a lot done. She left happy. She's softer. It's a place to start. So I'm going to look for that straight line. Quit riding. Have my hands there to catch her from dumping down.